Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you. Let's not waste any time. XRP's up over 40%. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.51 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 1.9%, but the market is up more than that. And when you get down into it, Bitcoin now 65,000 plus, up 12.7 on the 7-day. Ethereum 3,400 plus, up 11.5 on the 7-day. We know Tether's market cap 113 billion plus, USDC 33 billion plus. XRP was at number 6 spot. It slipped just in the past few minutes back to the number 7 spot, but up from the number 8 spot, dancing between 6 and 7 ranking here. We're at 60 cents, 61 cents, floating back and forth, but we're up 4% on the 24, and we're up 40.5% on the 7-day. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, we're loving this for us. 61 cents is where we're sitting right now, ranging between 58 and 63 cents. We get above this 66 to 70 cent range, and these technical analysts are telling us we better watch out. We're going to see some really astonishing things. So we're very, very close to that. So let's get into this really quickly right now. I want to share some things with you because there's so many incredible opportunities on this platform, but I just want to give you, and you've heard me talk about Cerberus before. It's an AI company. And I want you to understand that NVIDIA is an AI company. And NVIDIA has made, a tidal wave of noise coming into this space of AI. They have absolutely taken off like a tear. But now here's what you need to know. NVIDIA is currently trading at 26 times 2025 revenue of $120 billion. The AI chip market is estimated to grow to $207 billion in just 2026. So that's just in another basically year and a half. If Cerberus IPO prices at 25% discount of what NVIDIA's relative valuation, 20 times forward revenue, it will be valued at $20 billion. And you have access to get this private equity from Cerberus today on Link2. Check this out. If Cerberus achieves a mere 1% market share by 2026, its revenue for Cerberus will grow 4 times to $2 billion. If they get a mere 1% market share. So you see the opportunity here. Don't miss the chance. Cerberus is available today, but you know why it's available today? Because it wasn't yesterday. You never know when the wind is going to close and your access to these particular private equity offerings are no longer available. If you're going to get into the AI world, Cerberus is a great place to start. Click the link below to my sponsor and get started today. It only takes minutes and you could be holding private equity. The best private equity in the world, by the way. Link2.com. The IMF warns U.S. economy poses a global recession risk. Now, a lot of you would hear that and say, well, man, I better tighten down. I better buckle down, batten the hatches, do more or less. I can't be investing right now. Well, you would be taking the mindset of scarcity versus abundance. Because the truth of the matter is, obviously, you shouldn't put yourself in economical harm. But the truth is that the wealthiest people keep dry powder for moments like this. So while everyone else is being fearful, you can afford to be greedy. If that's not something you can do today, maybe it's a plan you want to start working towards. Because it's in moments like this where real wealth is made. Look at the last crisis we had in 08 and 09. Real estate crashed, the real estate default swap crisis, and we saw it collapse like nothing before. What did the richest people in the world do? BlackRock bought it all back up. 60% off market price. Right? You could be that person too, but it takes you positioning yourself and getting yourself in a place to where not only can you get through a downturn market and economic time, but you are prepared in a way that you can invest in a disciplined manner during that downtime. Because I tell you, I have learned that is where real, true wealth is made. Well, looking at this, breaking, President Putin proposes digital currencies in Russia. Putin has signed a digital ruble bill into law, paving the way for Russia's own central bank digital currency. Crypto mining in Russia accounts for 1.5% of total energy consumption nationwide. The digital ruble will be tested with 13 banks starting August 15th. This is basically 1 month away here. Now Russia is ahead of the United States. And this is what the fight is like in the United States. This is A16Z talking about the current state of regulation or lack thereof in the U.S. Take a listen to this.
So it's really interesting. So we tried to meet with Gary Gensler, he's the chair of the SEC. He's running this campaign against crypto. We're the largest crypto investors or largest blockchain investors in the world. And we've requested meetings with him at least a half a dozen times. I even was able to get in contact with his office mate at MIT, who said, surely Gary will meet with you. It's so important that he meets with you. You know all these things. And he couldn't get us the meeting. He was appointed by all accounts, not really by Joe Biden, but by Elizabeth Warren, who similarly refuses to meet with us, the only senator who has refused to meet with us. And then, of course, we have been unable to get a meeting with the president himself. So it's just been, really frustrating, I would say.
I think that about sums it up, right? The largest investor in the crypto's digital asset space, A16Z. However, in this case, as digital asset investor highly points out here, Gary may not want any of that ETHgate stench on him. He's already got enough in front of him right now with Prometheum and FTX and the Russian dossier he signed a check for at the Hillary Clinton campaign. He's got a lot in front of him. He may not want to sit down with Andreessen Horowitz knowing what their participation was in ETHgate. Yeah. And then here you have more comments from Brad Garlinghouse, CEO from Ripple, and he is talking about really what the history books will say about the SEC administration and Gary Gensler himself. Take a listen.
Yes, this question, when the United States government sues you, it's a scary time. And, we're a U.S. company based largely in San Francisco at the time. And I was very nervous about what the future of Ripple would hold and, what the growth prospects. And I will tell you, one of the things, also maybe we didn't talk about publicly at the time, but we had really high turnover of employees that first few months because I think a lot of employees were like, whoa, freaked out. I'm out. It ended up being that the 2 years after we got sued were record years for Ripple because we just went outside the United States. The products we're selling, the solutions we're enabling are very global. And if you look at our business now, 95% of our customers are non-US. From a payment volume, it's largely non-US. And that's sad. Actually, even you kind of alluded to this, we made a strategic and conscious decision that, about 75% of our hiring over the last 2 years has been non-US. Yeah. Why do you want to hire people here when your market is not here? Or you want to be closer to your customer. You've heard a lot about customer centricity in the panels and discussions over the last day and a half or day. And that's sad to me that we're offering high-paying jobs and we're doing a lot less hiring in the United States. We've still grown in the U.S., but again, 75% of your hiring is non-U.S. That's a sad reality. So what you do when that happens, when you don't have clarity, is you go to where there is clarity. Right. And you have markets like Japan, you have markets like the Middle East, UAE, Dubai, Singapore. I highlighted the European Union earlier, certainly the UK. These are not random small countries and markets. The U.S. has just been way behind on this, and I do think the United States Securities and Exchange Commission could be a leader in solving this, and instead they're going to. I think the history books will look at this SEC administration as being Luddites. Yeah.
Which is someone who is trying to stop progress, right? And someone who is against new technology, right? That's what we're talking about here. And I think he's got it spot on. And we need an administration change is what we need. That's why I'm a one-issue voter and voting for Trump, and I hope you will too, Because if your investments and your pursuits and endeavors are being harmed by the current administration, that's what you do. You don't choose party lines. You choose the one side that is going to open up the logjam so you can continue your entrepreneurial investor pursuits in life. That's what's going on here. Now, this is a reminder right here that there's so much more coming to this space that we don't even see today. Now, Zonix is a Ripple partner, and they're aiming to streamline tokenization process for real-world assets on the XRP ledger. They've partnered with Variety One for environmental credits. Variety One has also partnered with Ripple to use XRP Ledger EVM sidechain, and it's about environmental credits. I'm bringing this up to say that this is a market that is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Again, this is not something we see a big thing of right now. But as the market begins to fall under a regulatory framework with legislative clarity around the world, and we have clarity in a lot of places in the world, you're going to see things like environmental credits, carbon credits, and this become a very, very big market. Very big market. You watch. It's going to happen. Now, there's things about it that disturb me, but that's another question, another conversation, I should say. But nevertheless, I want to go back real quick to this. When Brad said, when they first got sued, employees were dropping out like, whoa, that's enough for me. You guys are getting sued, right? That first few months there, you had a lot of people that were just like, yeah, I'm not signing on for this, right? And I understand that. And I actually lean into that and say, that's the problem we're having with adoption on the XRP ledger. That's the same thing. You think developers aren't thinking the same thing as employees that were at Ripple? Of course they are. Look, self-preservation is the first rule of war, right? And when you feel like you're being attacked in a battle, the first thing you want to do is protect yourself. So a lot of people left the company, right? And that's okay. Everybody's got a different threshold and appetite for risk. Those that couldn't take the risk left, okay? But they're still going strong and they're doing even better. And as Brad said, you go 2 years out into the thing and they're doing better than they had been because they went outside the United States where it's not a problem. That, I believe, is going to be like a boomerang effect because they've gone and done the work around the world while the U.S. still being a laggard. But when we get this new administration in, which Brad has clearly said that Republicans are playing chess in this area where Democrats are still playing checkers, which means they are not coming off of the anti-crypto stance. So with that being the situation here, you have to understand that he's going to go where I'm going to go and everybody else in this space is going to go with the administration that says that they're about to unlock the logjam. And even as recent as the recent VP announcement for Trump's administration, this is a guy who's holding Bitcoin currently and understands the space to a great level of degree and understanding. So this is getting super exciting for me because I've always believed it's legislation that is the logjam that will clear the path, not just for Ripple and the XRP ledger, but for the entire digital asset space. And isn't that what we've wanted all along? A level playing field? Of course it is. Let's take a look at this. There's a lot happening when it comes to the XRP ledger, and the world of DeFi is growing very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget your original journey. Become your own bank and be self-sufficient. Absolutely. You should have that option, clearly have that option. You should also have the option as well to use a qualified custodian if you choose to, and that has insurance backing it. You should have both options because that is what this is about. It's about empowering yourself with multiple options, and one of which being your ability to be your own bank. That is coming very quickly. Again, that's what we're doing right now in a series inside the DPMG is teaching everybody how to use automated market makers on the XRP ledger. And it is not as hard or as intimidating as you would think. You should join us. Here's an institutional DeFi roadmap. I love how under tokens they have fungible XRP IOU. This reminds me of Reeves' test when something is a note. If this thing goes to the Supreme Court, remember, we've learned in this particular part and portion of the court case what XRP is not. And Judge Annalisa Torres told us that XRP in and of itself is not a security. but it may have to go to the Supreme Court so we can find out exactly what it is, which I believe is money, and I believe it always has been. But I do love seeing this institutional DeFi roadmap laid out here. I'm excited about where things are going, obviously, and all the bridges that are being built here, Axelar, XLS38, and obviously tying in side chains too. This is all beautiful what's going to be coming to us. This is going to expand greatly. I want you to listen to this quick clip here. It's a 2-minute clip, and I want you to hear this with Brad Garlinghouse talking to Fortune. Let's get it right here.
Competition in these places, you know, is it not quite that way? Just how are you looking at that?
Yeah. So the SWIFT network, I mean, I imagine everyone here at some point in your lives has done a SWIFT-enabled transaction. You call it a wire transfer. One little side note, the expression wire transfer, the etymology of that is a telegram wire.
That's right.
This is not technology that has moved with the internet and advancement of these technologies. I mean, do we compete with SWIFT? Yes. There are a lot of payment networks out there. And when I think about at the core what Ripple's trying to do, we're trying to let value move the way information moves today. What does that mean? You and I have been around for a while, these technologies. I was around, I had a Prodigy account, I had an AOL account. There's also CompuServe. You couldn't email between CompuServe and AOL.
Right.
That was not possible.
Right.
And then you had technologies, in this case SMTP, come along to enable interoperability between networks that didn't speak to each other. Mm-hmm. Today we have payment networks that are the same as CompuServe, Prodigy, and AOL. You can't readily send a Visa payment to your mother-in-law in India on Mother's Day. You can't send that payment directly. That is ripe with friction, and the cost to do that would be outrageous, and the likelihood of errors is crazy. But yet it's all ones and zeros. It's all like, why can't we enable interoperability between payment networks? And so when I think about SWIFT, when I think about
I think there's the answer right there. Why can't we enable, let's listen to just that little piece right there at the end again.
Can't readily send a Visa payment to your mother-in-law in India on Mother's Day. You can't send that payment directly. That is ripe with friction, and the cost to do that would be outrageous, and the likelihood of errors is crazy. But yet it's all ones and zeros. It's all like, why can't we enable interoperability between payment networks?
Why can't we enable interoperability between payment networks? That to me is saying SWIFT can still be SWIFT, right? And Ripple can still be Ripple, and RippleNet can still be RippleNet. And enabling that ability to tie it all together. And what would tie it all together? The XRP ledger with a decentralized exchange, which could make SWIFT better, which could make every other chain better, because you're making a market for the world on the world's first and best running decentralized exchange known as the XRP ledger. I really do believe that. I really do, and you don't have to. This is Mastercard on their partnership with Ripple. Take a listen.
So initially we feel that there are more people willing to pay with cryptocurrencies. There isn't as much of an acceptance network as of now, but we think it's coming. So as a result, we said, okay, well, let's at least get ready to set up the stage. And in doing so, we're working with a number of different partners, you know, with Ripple, TBS, different companies around the world, to say, well, you know, how can you help this whole transaction go from front to back? We've set up all the networks, we're ready to go.
They've set up all the networks and ready to go. How about that? I love that. You know, ready to go. How about that? Yeah, I love that. That's a nice little thumbnail piece. I might use that. But let's keep going. Now, there's all this talk about a Ripple settlement. Now, if we get a Ripple settlement, I think it has to include what XRP is. And it also has to include the fact that the SEC or any other agency is not going to come after Ripple or XRP ever again in life. There has to be that absolute legal clarity. There's no question. But right now, we don't know anything. It's rumor, not trumor at this point. Euphoric XRP rally poised to flip Ethereum as historic investment opportunity. Well, you know what? It's done it before. If you've not been in this space for very long, back in 2018, Ripple was the number 2 at one point. Don't believe it. It's still true. But what do we need to see? Eggrag Crypto and OG here. XRP's on the move. If it closes above 65 cents, it set the stage for a breakthrough to above 75. And he says anything below 75 cents is just market noise. Ha ha. I love that, because what he's saying is 75 cents is the level to break. And when we break that, the conversation about the $18, $27, $30 range is back on the table hardcore. And I love this. And looking in the near term here, he can see on the XRP to BTC chart, we can easily touch MA99, moving average 99, around 0.000016, which is around $1 mark for XRP right there on the chart. So you can see where he's pointing out there. He believes that that can get up there and touch that. And when it does, that would put XRP on that chart about $1. And that would be above that 75-cent range, which sounds like we'd be talking about that $18 to $30 business again. Here's some lines to look at from XRP News. You can see this line, 1, 2, 3 touches. 3 touches is a trend, is what they say. That's the general rule. I'm no expert. 1, 2, 3. Now here we have support, support, resistance, however, though, right? And then on this line, you have resistance, resistance, but a bit of a poke through, right? Resistance, resistance. And then on this line, support, 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 support. All of these things are showing you that the $27 mark is going to be one of those real moments where when you break through that, oh my gosh, what comes next? Don't say 28. We all know it's 28. But what I'm saying is what are the next targets? Oh, you guys are something. I can already feel your answers, the responses sometimes. Digperspectives.com, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in. Join the Freedom Zone for next to nothing, or join the DPMG while the window is still open and learn, get the information and knowledge of how you can be using automated market makers on the XRP ledger as well. I hope you will join us. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.